was that for a second. That was good. That was perfect, actually.
It was just me being Siouxsie Sue, being sampled by The Weeknd. Because it's a Cutie Club post-punk edition. Woo! Finally, I know. It took us a while to get here. Oh, God. I don't know why. It's like, now that we're live, it feels like my eyes are under attack.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, whatever. It's fine. It's post-punk. I can cry. Oh. Anyway, I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because probably this makeup is too old to be on a human's face anymore. But, why are we doing post-punk? Well, I am a music journalist, and I recently wrote this story, which is now up on Discogs. 11 essential post-punk and post-punk revival albums that you need to have in your life. And on that list, of course, I have classics such as Joy Division and Television. We also have some left field picks like DEVO and Sonic Youth. Yeah, I fucking did it. And then we've got post-punk revival stuff like Interpol, Franz Ferdinand, DC Fontaines.
Was there anything you learned that you maybe didn't know before you wrote this article?
What did I learn?
Or what about post-punk, like, in your research surprised you, I guess?
I think I'm actually dying. I might have to take this makeup off. I don't know what's going on. But I don't know if there was like a whole lot that I learned other than interesting tidbits about each recording. Because I tried to be thoughtful about, I put it all in chronological order. And so I guess it just gave me a better sense of like the overall flow of the movement and the subgenre. I might be dying. Ow, fuck, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna clean my fucking face. I'm sorry.
We got this.
What are your favorite things about the post-punk genre? What do you think are, Zach, what do you think are like the most like misunderstood things about the post-punk genre?
Oh boy. I mean, if I had more time, if I didn't have a day job, I would have come fully loaded and prepared to talk about
post-punk. Well, I'll say something. I think a lot of people think it's a solely British movement, and it was
not at all. Not in the least. I mean,
not at all.
Depending on how you want to categorize one of my choices, 3/4 of my choices for today are post-punk. But I mean, the thing with post-punk is that it truly is so much. It encompasses so many things. It was across, like you just alluded to, across continental. Well, I don't know. Post-punk's this weird thing in that, like, when you hear it, you can immediately know what it is, but it also goes off in so many different directions. Like in England, it led to synth pop in a lot of ways. It became dance punk
and new wave and no wave.
Like, it is so many different things, and yet at this like amorphous core, there's this very solid thing that is,
like, I think some of my picks might surprise people. At least one of my picks, I think people will surprise people that it's considered post-punk. I'm like, when I was doing my research for this, I was like, is this post-punk? I'm not sure. And I will say this because I think the post-punk tag is a little bit nebulous, because I think people think post-punk and they think Joy Division, and yes, that's post-punk, but that's only one variety, I guess, of post-punk. Right.
Well, now that I've come back, and hopefully don't cry for the rest of the stream. Also, if anyone's out there, shout out, say hello, tell us your favorite post-punk songs. But I'll just read my definition of post-punk from my story, and that was that post-punk, quite literally meaning after punk, marks where the first chapter of punk ended and a more artful approach began. And that's not to say that punk isn't art. It so clearly is, driving one of the strongest emotional responses in modern music and one of the largest and everlasting impacts. But post-punk is more akin to the music we hear now. It's just as bold and confrontational, but it's more melodic, more thoughtful, and more technically experimental. It was not a sudden reaction to the outside world, but rather a meditation on the strange parts of reality.
Well, and I think also when you say that it was more artful than punk, I think the reason a lot of these punk bands, because that's actually the first wave of post-punk, was the punk bands who decided, and I think this is the problem, is punk was very rigid in its like, this is what punk sounds like, and punk must follow these parameters.
Mm-hmm.
And then in post-punk, you kind of saw this like explosion of, you know, of people being like, you know what, fuck those rules, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Right. And so then you have all these very different, wide varieties of what people think sounds like post-punk, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that about the rigidness, because like that applied to the fans too. Over the weekend I listened to this really great podcast about Siouxsie, who are like one of, even though like they're more synth pop pioneers, like are one of the first bands like carry the punk title, and like they were opening up for like post-punk stalwarts like would we consider Elvis Costello new wave or post-punk? You know what? It doesn't matter. The point is that like, yeah, like punk became rigid in a lot of ways. I would consider him
new wave, but I definitely think he had definitely a lot of post-punk influences.
Yeah, for sure. But like Siouxsie were opening up for people like The Clash and Elvis Costello, and I guess like people would literally like be spitting on them because like,
punk fan bases, especially hardcore funk, are very unforgiving. Like once you sell out, which whatever that means, you're written off.
Yeah. So post-punk is TLDR, one of the best genres ever. And to kick things off, did anyone? Hey, Trash Cat. Hi, the Casey Michael. Thank you for joining us. Did anyone pick a particularly early post-punk song they'd like to kick it off with? Zach, I see your hand is up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I picked I tried to keep it to early stuff today. I sweated a lot over the picks, not so much sweating over...
I might actually like interject really quickly and be like, let me go first. Because what I did learn actually in writing this article was that the earliest really post-punk album that I saw was Television's Marquee Moon, and that came out in 1977, which is like still honestly the heyday of punk as we know it. I think that's like the year that Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols came out. And so it's very interesting that you have this band come out doing this like rock and roll dub infused, like almost jazz inspired pop rock music. Even the title track, there's a really great quote in the piece that I don't know made the final cut, but in it the lead singer was saying like later that he always considered Television to be a pop band, and then he would like really think about it and he'd be like, I mean, our title track was like 10.5 minutes long, so I don't know if that's really true. But it has all I don't think you can be pop, even if you create a pop song that's 10 minutes long. Is it pop anymore? That, you know. Right, exactly. It's kind of...
I think pop needs to be like a tight 3.5, 4, you know?
Exactly. But so this song is called See No Evil. It's the first track on their album, Marquee Moon. And so in many ways kind of opened the page, or opened the door, or turned the page on the very beginning of what post-punk is. So great place to start. It's really, really good. I think you guys will like this, and if you don't, you have terrible taste. What can I say?
I see no evil.
A Trash Cat, I don't think there's anything not post-punk about audiobooks, and I think we can all agree that we love his voice. And that actually brings me back to like what I think defines that as post-punk. You know, they've still got that kind of guttural punk chanting scream at the chorus, and it sounds messy, but it also sounds very thoughtful and put together, and it's a bit more of this like melodic structure than your 3 power chords and like somebody who sounds wet when they yell. But so that was it. That was the birth of post-punk. And Zach, I did not mean to steal the thunder from you. I definitely want you to go next. But I was like, wait, I've got it.
Before we move on, I will just say, had the pleasure of seeing Television live in 2016. They were fantastic. Put the title track of that album on the first mixed CDs ever made for a Trash Cat, which is also cool. Yeah, it's a great album. If you haven't listened to it, do yourself a favor.
The last song, Torn Curtains, is also amazing. I considered playing that one, but it is like 7 minutes long, so.
My embarrassing television story is during the moment in Marquee Moon where they say, and I ain't waiting, like, live, I was fucking hammered because it was like the week I was in DC, or like the week I'd moved to DC, and like I just came in too early on it, and I just had like a bunch of like baby boomer, Gen Xer, like, you know, bordering people like just like give me the death stare for brief. I was like, fuck you. We have fun here. But speaking of live shows, the next song I picked, it like borders the line between like being like post-punk and, you know, art rock, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I chose Fun Time off The Idiot by Iggy Pop for a number of reasons. One, great song. Two, this album was really, The Idiot was really influential on post-punk acts, especially in the UK. David Bowie produced it, as you'll see in this video, for this tour with Iggy behind this album. Like, he played the keys. A lot of people actually say that it's the true first entry in the Berlin trilogy because Lodger wasn't technically entirely made in Berlin the way Low and Heroes were. So, you know, some revisionist history there. And because a funny story about the Cutie Club is Art Basel 2019, I was supposed to pick you, Kat, up from the airport.
That's right.
And a trash cat suddenly at the last minute got tickets to an Iggy Pop show, and I'd never seen Iggy Pop. I love Iggy Pop. and I just texted you while you were still like, hey, sorry, like I know you'll understand.
While I'm in the plane, by the way, so I land to the news that no one's coming to pick me up, which is fine. It was Iggy Pop. I mean, yeah, it's fine. You get a pass.
And we all gathered at Jose's afterwards in like, you know, what the hell's the word? Whatever. We reconnoitered at Jose's, and it was fine. Uber exists, and also
it was pre-pandemic. People were traveling.
The right choice. It was clearly the right choice.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, I would have made the same choice. Sorry, Megan. Sorry, Kat. I mean,
he doesn't even remember my name, folks. That's how deep the river runs between the Cutie Club. And while we play this song, everybody think for a second. The Casey Michael wants to know, was there a genre of post-punk called something like Math rock. That's what math rock. Yes.
Yeah.
Which did eventually become things like Mudvayne. So consider the long line from there to be while you watch Fun Time.
Hey, baby, we like your lips. Hey, baby, we like your pain.
What a snack is right, Zach. That's what Zach said. Mm-hmm. We were just admiring those beautiful men who were not concerned about, Zach said social media. I said they're not concerned about being too manly. And then Zach said they are concerned with heroin addiction, though. So that's true. Also, shout out the powers that be for quitting her fucking job today. Yes.
Oh, congrats. That's always a good thing.
That is a very post-punk thing to do. Just tell the fucking man to eat shit.
That's so good. I didn't know. Congrats, powers that be.
Yes. That place was a hellhole factory. And so, but we'll always have it commemorated on our Love Songs episode, which will be uploaded on YouTube very soon, by the end of this week. If you guys don't know, over on my YouTube channel, I've been posting the old cutie calls and also on my old cat calls, cutie calls. That's not it. Cutie Club and my cat calls episodes. Finally catching up over there. I've got Alice in Wonderland and Valentino Khan. I've got Penny Wild over there. More to come. And if you guys subscribe to the channel here or you follow us on Patreon, which just launched, you get access to all of our playlists after the fact. And also really fun, groovy emails and fun things like that. So the Cutie Club never has to close. You can take it home with you. Take it away, Bob. Which might be Jose. Jose's busy.
I didn't get that one. I don't think that's an age thing. I didn't get that one, honestly.
What? What is Bob? Who's Bob?
Bob Barker. He tells you what you fucking won.
Oh, okay. Like
Space Dogs. Got it. That guy.
I used to. Can I tell you? I have fond memories of watching Price is Right with my mom when I was 4 years old, and I never went to pre-K because I was a sickly child.
Aww.
So I would just spend all day watching like daytime TV, and my favorite time was always watching Price is Right with my mom, who always amazed me as a 4 and 5 year old that my mom knew all the prices for everything.
Incredible, because she was feeding your sickly ass, making sure you didn't
Yeah.
die, which we're also glad that you didn't. So happy.
My favorite game, I think the most post-punk game on that show was Plinko, of course.
Absolutely. Plinko is very post-punk. The price is wrong, Bob. Love Adam Sandler. Shout out Adam Sandler.
So is it my turn now to pick a track?
It's your turn.
Well, I think, going on that like high energy Price is Right vibe, and how we were kind of talking about like that post-punk, people think it's one thing, but it's actually many things. And I had to pick this song because to me, they really started as a post-punk band, and even though people know them for, I think, their more poppier efforts later, this really like kicked it off. And I want to say this is like the B-52's Rock Lobster, which I love. And it's kind of like it's punk meets surf rock, meets a lot of things, and it's art rock too. It's a lot of things, but I really love this song. Anytime I was in the club and they played the song, I was like, move everybody, I need to get it to the dance floor because I love this track.
Yes.
And I even love the vocal delivery of what's his name, the lead singer.
Fred Schneider?
Fred Schneider, there you go.
The vocal delivery of Fred Schneider. If we do post too, Monster in My Pants, jam.
And actually, my favorite B-52 song is actually Mesopotamia, which is produced by David Byrne, who actually they had a falling out, and it was supposed to be a full album, and they only completed an EP because David told the B-52s to fuck off, and I think that the feeling was mutual. But that's actually my favorite B-52 song is Mesopotamia. But really, I think Rock Lobster falls more directly into the post-punk category.
You're leading the charge on giving Rock Lobster its due.
Yeah, I didn't include the B-52s on my Discogs article about post-punk. Not because I disagree with you, but I was just like, I mean, I guess they're very much art rock, but I agree. I think they belong on our stream, and I think that his voice and the like jangly nature of the guitar is where I'll tie it into post-punk. Like post-punk was he's a little more cartoonish than the average post-punk singer, but also like I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to jam out to some B-52s. Let's get fucking real. They're so good. Rock Lobster.
Let's do it.
Well, they thought it was a phase I was going through. And so did I. But something happened. So it's not a phase. But I'm still growing, so. I'm only young.
I mean, legend, absolute legend. I wonder where that dude is now. If I could only get my hair like that.
That interviewer was very condescending.
I mean, yes, absolutely. And that full interview features a punk, a goth, that kid, and a mod. And the whole thing is just like, there are a bunch of gangs in the streets of Ireland. And it's like, get off.
Which, by the way, if something appeared like that as a gang, I would laugh it off.
I know. Yeah, but that guy's answers were just absolutely great. He was just like, I did this especially for you. Thought I'd bring something interesting for once.
I don't know if you've seen the documentary The Warriors, but like gangs come in all shapes and colors and costumes. All right, and it's real out here.
Oh my God, come out to play. It's a good one. I like the roller disco gang, by the way. Anyway, that was a joy and a pleasure. And I don't know, should it be my turn next?
Maybe. Is that what your post-punk heart is telling you?
I mean, I don't know. I was the first one to go first, and then we could just like.
Is that the artistic direction you think this post-punk stream is going in?
I don't know. I mean, I really think it could go any which way. That's the beautiful thing about post-punk is it's about ripping the rules down and building the world in your fucking image, man. In which case, sure, I'll fucking go.
All right, great. Nailed it, dude.
So another
by the way, sorry to interrupt. We should start doing a poll for everybody. Like, we need to figure out how to do a poll and have people vote who goes next. That would be cool to let the audience decide.
Yeah.
That's a good monetary avenue.
Let us know if you want a polls in the future streams to decide who goes next.
But that creates a hierarchy, though.
Yeah. But also Kate's engagement, Zach, which is good.
I need to learn how to make a poll. I think it's also that, like, if someone were a moderator, they could make a poll. I'm already doing 700 things over here.
Also, you know what's really post-punk? Bits are post-punk.
Bits are so post-punk. Everyone knows that. Actually, and that is a good intro into my song. This next band is one of my... I mean, actually, like, their album, Entertainment, with an exclamation point at the end, Entertainment, might be my favorite post-punk album ever. It's got like 20 fucking tracks on it or something insane, and every single one of them is so damn good. And also, it's the first time I ever saw a band use on stage just beating a metal drum with a hammer, and that was like how they made one of the percussion sounds, which I just thought was so cool when I was in high school. And their whole album, actually included it on my list. Might as well show you real quick. There it is. Gang of Fours, Entertainment, came out in 1979. And 12 songs, 40 minutes long, grappling with everything from capitalism to terrorism, sex, poverty, resource wars, and feminism. It's funky, it's screaming, it's left of center, it's dance rock, it's very cool, it's very fun, it's very... It's like the height of post-punk. When I think of post-punk, I'm like, what does post-punk sound like? I think it sounds like fucking Gang 4. And I decided to go with their song, To Hell with Poverty, which means give us bits, actually. They didn't know that's what it meant in 1979 when they wrote and recorded this song, but that is what it means. And also, it's a really good live clip of them performing it. It actually sounds good, and we don't have that opportunity with a lot of these post-punk songs because, like, everyone had, like, garbage doo-doo equipment. So enjoy this. This is what a post-punk show felt like. B-52s was live, too. That was really cool. I really liked the part where all the audience members looked like they were having their lives changed, and they were up on stage going like, there goes a Monterey! Ah, ah! That's basically how you know that it's art. That's how you know that it's art, people. All right, Gang of Four, To Hell with Poverty. Give us your bits.
To hell with poverty! We'll get drunk on T-Vine!
Zach pointed out that song is not on the album Entertainment, but that doesn't mean that it's not entertaining and that we all didn't deserve to hear it right now. Entertainment! Which is what this show is, people. The power's the key. So attracted.
Can I tell you something that I have an aversion to it? It's exclamation points. It's just,
yeah, me too. Not more than one ever in anything.
You work in writing. What the fuck do you mean you have like?
Because my college professor told me exclamation points only, and you might, if you had Foley, you might have heard of this too.
I didn't have Foley. I spoke Foley, but I didn't have Foley because I wasn't a J school fucking.
Well,
I made my own tab.
He said that exclamation points were for cheerleaders.
He's right. I mean,
I love that. But I'm a cheerleader.
Maybe he should have internalized his own lessons before he destroyed Gawker. Just saying.
I mean,
we're not going to go into that, Zach.
Oh, Gawker.
This is not a Gawker episode.
An episode about Gawker musically. That'd be great.
But speaking of, like, you're already bringing the stream down. Do you have a track to bring the stream even down further?
Even downer?
I got a track to bring the stream down.
You got a downer?
I think you do have a fucking downer.
Because the title of the song is bringing everybody down. My next pick is Digital by Joy Division, which you can find on the Substance compilation. And as Kat is showing you. That was my Christmas present to her.
Can I say something sacrilegious about Joy Division?
Yeah, go for it.
I prefer New Order over Joy Division.
I agree with you. Like,
I mean, I know everybody has like a hard-on for Joy Division, and I understand why.
I think we're moving past that. I think in an era of hyperpop, this like the band that made sadder, gloomier music is better than the one that made transcendent music. Is Powers the Peep booing me, or is that a boo before?
It was a boo before.
I don't know why. Why would you do that? Why would she do that?
It was something else that you guys said, and it made sense at the time.
Anyway, I got that cheeky shirt for Kat for Christmas. This song you can find on the Substance compilation. It's kind of the most post-punk of their post-punk songs because it's.
By the way, we had this argument. I'd like to have this before we do that. Why wouldn't you? I mean, New Order being an offshoot of Joy Division, why do you guys think New Order doesn't qualify as?
They're like so clearly synth pop. Yeah. It's like very synth poppy. I think that post punk is driven by guitars, like categorically, even though there can be synths and fun things like that. But then New Order is like way heavy emphasis on the synths. And I think that post punk always has this kind of like unhingedness to it. It's kind of like and New Order is very much like, hey, ho, you know. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Oh, she was saying boo for your exclamation point. That makes sense. She had 7,500 of them after her bill. That makes sense. I just want to also shout out Manchester because I went there a couple years ago, and upon arrival, I was like, I understand why all these Manchester bands were making all this sad fucking music while they were here. It makes sense. Love it.
I heard it's not a pretty town.
It's not.
That's what everybody.
It's a fantastic city. It's one of my favorite cities I've ever been.
I've heard from every friend that visits that it's like a gloomy as fuck place, and there's.
Yeah, but it's so. And we literally went there for a few nights. Like, we went out drinking once in this pair of Mancunian sisters took it upon themselves to take Katie and I out on a night out in the town. And like, I think they appreciated that we were people who came in with a love and knowledge and appreciation of how much Manchester has contributed to culture.
A lot.
I fucking love Manchester. We should do a whole Manchester.
I'd be down. I'd be super down. The Chemical Brothers, the Smiths. That's how we work the Smiths in here. We just do a Manchester episode.
Boo. That's boo. That's boo. 10 exclamation points.
What is boo? The Smiths?
Smiths, yes.
Oh, whatever.
Fuck the Smiths. And especially fuck Morrissey.
I mean, I can understand saying fuck Morrissey, but the Smiths, forever. Whatever. He's just a boy with a thorn in his side. What can I say? All right. Joy Division, digital. Try not to have a seizure.
Stay in, stay out, stay in, stay out, stay in, stay out, stay in, stay out.
Fade away. Fade away. I love that song. That's the kind of song it just like gets me. It's like muted mania is basically the way I live my life.
That's good. That's good. I almost chose the 24-Hour Party People rendition of that song because if anyone here hasn't seen 24-Hour Party People, it's one of like the best movies about music ever made. And it's about aforementioned Manchester scene, specifically about Factory Records. They were the Manchester label responsible for Joy Division, then New Order, then Happy Mondays. And the first time you see Joy Division live is that song, but it was under 2 minutes, so I have something a little longer. But yeah, it's probably like their most like straightforwardly post-punky, just in your fucking. It's one of the best songs in their catalog.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah.
It's a banger. I just want to say shout out to the Powers That P for quitting her job one more time. I was listening to that song and I was thinking about like the fucking rat race, and I just love that she was like, deuces.
There you go. There you go.
Chalking them deuces up.
Well, I guess it's my turn now.
Yeah, we're doing a round robin. We're being really like clear about it this time.
Yeah. Which taking into my 24-hour party people during my 24-hour party people period of my life, which is long gone, is when I first heard this song, which was at like, it was at Pop Life, if you remember that party.
Oh, shout out.
And it was when Pop Life was still in the design district at this place called Piccadilly Gardens.
Ooh.
And I remember hearing this song and being like, who is this? I need to know. And I went up to the DJ, who I believe was Matt Cash, who later moved to New York and started working for DFA. And he pointed, he's like, oh, it's this band called the Slits, and the song is called Instant Hit. And when I went home, and this is of course when you went home and you immediately went on LimeWire and downloaded things, and I was more impressed that it sounded still so contemporary despite it being so old. And I can't say I'm terribly familiar with the Slits catalog, but I do know that they incorporated a lot of dub and reggae into their work. And they're all women too, which is a rare. I mean, I don't think we're going to see many other women in this post-punk roundup.
I think there were a lot of women in the punk scene, and they just don't get as much attention as they really should have. But I'm glad that you chose the Slits.
Yeah, so I just think it's a great song. I love it. I think it's weirdly danceable and enjoyable, and I love I love the rhythm of it too.
Yeah.
And I to me, it wasn't a night out at Pop Life if this song didn't play.
Nice. A standard. I think I love that you touched on the dub. Dub was a huge element for post-punk. There was a large island community, Caribbean community in London and in the UK, and when those cultures started meshing, the punk worlds with the Caribbean worlds, that was huge. I mean, we all know that ska is just white kids trying to make dub music with a little bit of punk rolled in there. And of course, dubstep is also from dub. So in case you didn't know that was where the name came from, now you do. Of course, Skrillex doesn't have a lot to do with that element of it, but sometimes. And also, rhythm and groove and danceability. That's a big part of post-punk too. That's where you get like the dance rock, the dance punk stuff started all kind of coming out of the same thing. Post-punk was just like the big explosion that created a lot of what we think of as like modern elements of songs this day. This now. I just want to give everyone a preface that I did not do my due diligence this time. We got a video, but I didn't take the time to kind of mix it with a better version of the sonics of this song. So it's going to sound a little rough, but the visual's there, and you should listen to it in high fidelity sometime. This is just a primer.
Yeah, well, you have a playlist that you do every week, right? Of all the songs you pick.
So I will put it there.
Definitely listen. I definitely encourage you because it's a great song. Listen to it at high quality. But even then, I think what's more post-punk than something that's like rough around the edges? You know?
I want to listen to my music through a shoe.
Kids today with their Disney Plus and their Hulu and their Amazon Prime, take a little shit. Take a little garbage for it.
Sometimes it sounded crappy because you were listening to a 3 times pre-recorded cassette tape that someone had recorded off the radio, and it was a pirate station to begin with. So just pretend it actually is the late 70s. What an absolute banger. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, Casey Michael. I did as well. Great video. Felt like a really great image into the slice of time that was that era as well. Put us right there on the streets with the kids. And I decided to give myself a mustache. Just felt like it.
I'm telling you, that makeup was either expired. How old was that makeup?
Who knows? I think someone gave it to me. They were like, do you want this?
That's conjunctivitis waiting to happen, Kat.
I mean, I hope I don't wake up with a swollen eye.
Have you heard of this little thing called COVID?
Oh my God.
I don't think I got COVID from the eye makeup, but I mean. Got nothing. Got nothing. Well, I guess we could just keep the ball rolling. I picked a song that this was included on my Discogs list of albums to listen to. And again, I think that they are a band that kind of lives on the edge of the genre. But this album came out in 1978. It's called Q, Are We Not Men? A, We Are DEVO. And I picked, I think this song in particular really illuminates what post-punk was about as a genre. And I have this whole bit in my intro, the Discogs story, where I'm talking about how like punk itself was a response to the bloated arena rock stars who were doing these larger, more cinematic shows and music to the point where it was like they couldn't even connect with their audience anymore. It wasn't about connecting with the audience. It was about being like the biggest fucking spectacle on earth, right? And so punk was a complete teardown of that. It was like, fuck you, we don't even need to know how to play our instruments, and we can just like, be right there in the face of the fans and connect with them. And post-punk, of course, takes that experience to a higher, more kind of like theoretical, esoteric realm. But I love this cover of the Rolling Stones' Can't Get No Satisfaction by DEVO, because it kind of takes all of that and puts it into one weird, wacky, wonderful sonic experience. And it is the most deconstructed rock song I've ever heard. And it's so interesting because we all know that song. It's like internalized in our hearts at this point. We all fucking know that song. And it, takes the piss out of humanity and commercialism, and they're just a great bunch of guys. And it really struck me that this came out in 1979. I think we all think of DEVO, we think of Whip It, we think of the 80s, but this is really...
We also, I mean, when I think of DEVO, I always think of their new wave, when they went
yes,
really
new wave is really
right?
what they kind of like become. But I think their early roots fit into that post-punk world.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm dropping DEVO.
I think people forget that a lot of their favorite new wave bands probably, I would almost say 80% of them started as post-punk or punk bands. You know what I mean?
I think with so many of these, even like we were talking about synth pop, like I think goth. I mean, and most goth bands would never admit to being goth.
The Cure was a post-punk band before
absolutely.
They went into like the kind of goth.
Siouxsie and the Banshees, they're pretty much a goth band too. But like when you take it all back to the early beginnings. So many, and I think Siouxsie and The Cure would really for a long time be like, don't call us a goth band, we're a post-punk band, or whatever they wanted to call themselves. But on the other side of that, here's DEVO, the de-evolution of man. Never forget that's what it's all about. Can't Get No Satisfaction. Still true, 2021.
Can't get no satisfaction.
We're regressing then.
Oh, absolutely.
At a dangerous rate?
Not dangerous enough. It just, things go things go on and on and on. Everybody always predicts the big tragedy, but it just keeps going on. The spuds just keep trickling down.
Yeah.
Just keeps going on, my friends. The great tragedy is upon us, perhaps finally. But I just want to shout out Mark Mothersbaugh as the lovable composer of the Rugrats theme song, y'all. Right. We all love that shit. Dun 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 dun.
T-Lac, everybody's getting hard about that,
Oh yeah. What else did he do? He I feel like he did a bunch of the Nickelodeon stuff.
He literally does everything. I picture him like Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall kind of stuff. Like he just does music for everything.
It's true.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a lot of he did The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. He did the Royal Tenenbaums and Rushmore.
Like a lot of people consider him to be a one-hit wonder because of Whip It, but really he had a very fruitful career for decades after that, because he started really like working behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Mark Mothersbaugh, bow. They said it right on the show. I never really said it out loud. I always said Mark Mothersbaugh. Anyway, de-evolution, you gotta love it. They're great. If you haven't checked out the deeper cuts of DEVO, please do. Do not just leave it at Whip It, but you should whip it good. Who's next? Zachary Daiquiri? Is it you?
I think you mean to say Zachary White Claw Watermelon.
That's right. There's
Christina,
that
where is
spud.
the status of our sponsorship?
I
Christina?
know.
Yeah.
We're ready.
We're paying you nothing to get us a sponsorship.
Yes,
Christina.
exactly.
Yeah.
It should be very lucrative what we're doing. I don't understand why I haven't been able to quit my job yet. Just being a
Damn,
fucking
when's that gonna happen?
talking head on the internet.
Yep.
Oh, well, I was gonna go in a different direction.
You don't have to just go the way I tell you to.
Or else.
My next pick is War Dance by Killing Joke. I think this album came out in 79 or 80. It's off their first self-titled. Fuck, if I get that wrong, I'm gonna be so mad at myself because I just was like, post-punk songs I love that are relevant and historically important. This song.
Well, you can verify.
1980. You were right. 1980.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say you could always Google it while we're on break to verify, but go ahead.
But I had Kat do that for me. Yeah. This album's super important just as far as post-punk branching off into different things. You've got industrial out of it. You've got so much of it. If you haven't listened to this album, Change is literally Losing My Edge by LCD Sound System. If you haven't heard it, and great song. But beyond like its historical importance, I just chose the song because we're coming up on a year this week of Hell World Extreme.
It's true.
And driving around, like real shit, honestly, like driving around Miami, like at the start of all this and like having no clue what was coming. Like I honestly was blasting this album in this song, like whenever I was running errands and like wearing a fucking handkerchief or something, not understanding particles and sizes and proper mass. But like if you saw me driving around, if you were out and about in Miami this time last year, like odds are very high that you heard the song blasting out of a Nissan Altima. So
I feel like DEVO should have come out with like face shields. They were into all kinds of goodies.
They fucked up, dude.
Yeah. Actually, there were DEVO face shields.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, yeah, I actually did. That was another Discog story that I wrote on holiday gift guide for your music nerd friends, and one of them was DEVO face shields. So it's like, I didn't even mean to plug. It's just what happened. Killing Joke, another band that went super goth. All right, no one gives a fuck about that.
Okay.
Well, let's listen to Killing Joke. Just talking about our parents and how well adjusted we are or not. They just
I think that's the most post-punk thing. How fucked up our parents screwed us up. You know?
I just ate an entire thing of wasabi. I shit you not. Oh my god, I wasn't looking. I just ate an entire thing of wasabi.
Good for you. I'm jealous.
Or
the wasabi's the best part.
About your parents. I think it's
yeah. Well, I got that out of the way earlier on in life. Holy.
By the way, guys, we were talking about how I was not breastfed as a child, and therefore that's my disconnect with society at large. That I do not have.
People who love you most, you asshole.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love how this bit has no. How did we even get onto that subject? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember either, but yeah.
Listen, you know what I want to say? The only thing that cures eating an entire thing of wasabi
is
the artificial flavor of White Claw watermelon, available at any convenience store or gas station near you.
Gotta love it.
I will say it's probably milk, considering milk latches onto the heat receptors. But sure, go on, White Claw.
Speaking of titties, we just keep going around and around.
Oh my god.
But guys, we've been like really hovering in the 80s. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, boo. Yeah, the 80s.
Fuck the 80s.
Boo.
Fuck the early 80s. Boo. Fuck Reagan. Margaret Thatcher.
Although, you guys remember that David Hasselhoff?
So let's go back to like the W era.
Oh,
music.
yes. when we all came of age, when we all discovered post-punk, most likely.
I mean, I think a lot of people forget that there was this whole post-punk revival, early 2000s. You had.
I'll never forget. Time of my life.
Arguably, like a lot of the bands.
That's
were
right.
Kind of influenced by the post-punk. You had the Strokes, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, the Friends for
the Hives, the Vines, the White Stripes.
Holy shit, damn.
But I think if there was one band that really sounded like they came out of like the original post-punk era, there's only one.
Absolutely.
And it was Interpol.
Absolutely.
Which actually one of the band members have a Miami connection. He's originally
from
Miami.
Is it Carlos D? Because he's the best one.
Yeah. I forget which one. We've written about it. He used to play in a band down here back in the day at Churchill's, blah, 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 before he moved to New York and became part of Interpol.
I once read a harrowing account of Carlos Danger fucking this guy's girlfriend, but like we can say that for later. Like, go on.
I need to hear that story. I love Carlos D.
But anyway, so I just think like Interpol just sounded like, yes, they were part of the post-punk revival, but they were definitely post-punk. Like there was no ifs, ands, or about it. Like their songs were post-punk.
Especially the first album, Turn on the Bright Lights, was just like, man, did we go back in time?
I think a lot of people used to label like the Strokes and the Yeah Yeahs post-punk, but they were they kind of had the influence, but no one was as like, the guys at Interpol definitely did their post-punk homework before like starting to write music. You know
Again,
what I mean?
heavy bass groove, big drums, droning vocals.
Dun, 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 dun. You know, it's just like,
so good.
And speaking of that, like I picked my favorite Interpol track, which is Evil. I think everybody loves this song. Like, it's great.
It's got a fun video. And I just want to say, again, Carlos D is the best member of the band. The band never sounded the same without Carlos D. Motherfucker used to walk around with gun holsters on all the time, and he got the shit, and he's an icon. And shout out Carlos D. And I love that they continue to be a band, but your new bassist isn't Carlos D, and that's just the way it is. It doesn't sound as good.
He's not fucking as many girlfriends.
Yeah,
by the way, it's the Interpol member who was from Miami is Sam Fogarino.
Was he the guitarist or the drummer?
You gotta. We'll get back that.
We'll get back to you. Interpol, Evil, Puppetry. Let's go.
Your friends, they do come crying. Tell them now your pleasure set upon slow release.
Love singing along to Interpol songs because it's just the best.
That's like me dancing when I've had like too many one too many cocktails.
Exactly. Everyone when they first came out wanted to say that they were just a total ripoff of Joy Division, which I don't think is fair. I understand that he sounds a lot like Ian Curtis, but I don't think that they as a band sounded like a total Joy Division ripoff. And then She Wants Revenge came out, and I was like, that's a fucking ripoff.
She Wants Revenge is not aged well at all, like in the least, not even a little bit. No, like no one who didn't live through the two. Sorry, She Wants Revenge. Like,
I know, but we already have Interpol, so we don't need it. We don't.
I mean, I love me some Interpol. I saw them live at the Fillmore back in the day. Not when they were like at their peak. They had already kind of like. I did see them.
I got to see them on their Turn on the Bright Lights. Relive the Magic tour. I think when it was. It must have been 10 years old. But 2011 seems too soon for that memory. I'm not sure. Was it 15? The powers the P knows.
I remember that was like late 2000. That was like late 2010.
Yeah. Must have been. I don't know. Anyway, it was a really great show. Carlos D wasn't there, but it was okay because I actually saw them open for The Cure when it was like the Turn on the Bright Lights era, and I saw Carlos D smoking a cigarette on the side of the stage, and I wanted so badly to go say hello to him, but I was not yet confident enough. I was 16, so missed my chance to tell him how much of an icon he is, but I'm sure he knows. 2017! That's when the reunion Relive the Magic tour was. Fucking great time. And Battles opened, and Battles is amazing. That's a math rock band for you. Speaking of math rock.
Battles are beyond math. Battles are, There's something else.
All right. This is actually like the most quick edition of Cutie Club ever. I guess because we didn't have a guest.
I also think just the songs are so post-punk songs can tend to be a little short too.
It's true.
I think they still follow the punk mantra of getting it over quickly. You know what I mean?
I followed my heart and picked Marquee Moon. I fucked up.
We needed a 10-minute epic.
Yeah, I fucked up. Clearly.
It's all right.
We still got 3 songs left.
I know.
Guys.
I'm saying, I think we're going to actually be like on time this time.
And guys, if you have any questions for us, about the songs we're picking, we want to hear them.
We want to hear from you. And again, if you ever wanted to come join the Cutie Club, we actually have a tier for that on Patreon. And you get the link to the Zoom, and you can just come on into the Cutie Club whenever you so fucking wish. It's very exciting.
What's the Patreon URL? Do you have it in the...
It's patreon.com/Kat Bein, Katbein. Y'all know how to find me on the internet, at Kat Says Kill, whatever. These are all our handles, by the way, if you ever wanted to tell us how much you love us or can't stand us in between Cutie Club episodes. We're always there for you.
Do not tell Zach you can't stand him. He will not be able to handle it.
No, honestly, that'd be great because then maybe I can finally quit my job in media and just do once I get that vaccine, maybe I don't know, maybe I pull a Dexter and just go off into the wilderness. I grow a beard and I do something else where I don't have to have an opinion about things. I can just fucking chill. That sounds sick.
And that's what's going to happen if people tweet at you? Oh, you don't have a Twitter. Boo. We should get Zach on Twitter.
Yeah, holy shit.
Well, otherwise you can also text Zach at 305-555-5555.
Hot cuties are standing by for your call.
Hot cuties are cutie Jew boys are standing by.
Cutie Jew boys. We're all Jew boys here. We love you too, the powers of the P. So glad you quit your job for this. Now, my last song, we come to the last songs. And my last song is actually very close to the beginning, but actually theoretically. It's close to the end too.
Where are you going with this? It's not the beginning, but it's the end, but it's kind of like the middle too.
It's all things. It kind of is. It kind of is the spectrum of life and death and everything in between. But it's a group called Time Zone, and there's many layers here. Time Zone is a super duo between John Lyden, aka Johnny Rotten, lead singer of the Sex Pistols, who was kind of like the poster boy for what punk was, especially of the UK variety, and he quit in the best video ever, by the way. Everyone should watch this. If we ever do a punk episode, I'm definitely using this as a clip.
Wait, I know this is going.
He it was playing it wasn't supposed to be the Sex Pistols' last concert. It was supposed to be their biggest one so far. It was televised. It was in America or some shit. And he had decided he fucking hated the band. He didn't want to be with them anymore. And so he just went on there, and it was a terrible time for him. And he was just flopping off the whole time. And then they came to do an encore, which was no fun, by the Stooges. And he comes out, and he's like, "You're going to get one song and one song only, because I'm a lazy bastard." And then at the end, while they're all just playing it out, he just sits there on the stage, and he goes, "You ever get the feeling you've been cheated? Good night." And then he just drops the mic, and he goes on to become a foundational icon of post-punk. He literally is the figurehead of punk, walking away from punk, going, fuck this shit. It's all about image. It's all about whatever. So he started a band called Public Image Limited, and they're so good, or PIL, or PIL, or whatever. And they're amazing, and you definitely need to check them out. I played one of their songs for our Love Song show a few weeks ago. I played their song, This Is Not a Love Song. But I didn't choose a PIL song. I chose a Time Zone song, and Time Zone is John Lyden teamed up with Africa Bambaataa, who I know is canceled, but fucking Zulu Nation forever, dog. Okay.
What happened with Africa Bambaataa? I didn't get the memo.
Oh, we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that on it. We'll talk about it in the green room. We genuinely don't have to talk about that.
Anyway.
Also, you're 5 years late. That literally happened.
Guys, I don't get the Africa Bambaataa memo, okay?
But this
It's not
song is still
good.
amazing. And if you guys are familiar at all with Will.i.am's weird, like, I forgot what he named himself, but he totally had a moment where he was trying to be Africa
Wasn't
Bambaataa.
he was Skateboard P for a while.
No, that's Pharrell. Pharrell was Skateboard P.
Who are you talking about?
Will.i.am, the weird dude from the Black Eyed Peas. Yeah.
I can't believe I insulted
He had a whole moment.
Wow.
I know. He had a whole moment where he was like trying to be time zone. But anyway, I think that this was interesting to include because post-punk and hip-hop had so much in common, and electro started as in the world of hip-hop. And so I think this song is really cool because it kind of ties up so many different things together. And it's great. And it's all about world destruction. That's the name of the song, World Destruction. So it's something we can all relate to. And it's got a great video. And that was a lot. And I'll stop talking and we'll play the song.
We come out destruction. This is a world destruction. Your life ain't nothing. The human race is becoming a disgrace.
Why do you dislike rock and roll so
It's
much?
dead, it's a disease, it's a plague, it's been going on for too long, it's history, it's vile, it's not achieving anything, it's just digression. They play rock and roll at airports. That's about as, like, advanced as it can possibly get.
Today, tomorrow, the afterworld. Love Johnny Lyden. What a guy. He's kind of an asshole now, but I think he was always an asshole. But it's great watching old interviews with him, like literally anytime ever, because he just hates everyone.
Like, listen, I love PIL and Sex Pistols. And I'm just like, John Lydon sucked. Wait, we should do an episode of Problematic Faves.
We should do an episode of Problematic Faves. Morrissey, Kanye.
Yeah.
There's one that's like really obvious that I can't.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Yeah. Africa Bambaataa. Yeah. We should.
Yeah, we'll own
totally.
it. Yeah, you know what? Like, that's our stand against cancel culture. Like,
yeah, problem.
You know?
Chris Brown. Honestly, I'm fucking doing it.
I'm
fucking doing it.
Kiss. I'll take the kiss. Yeah, kiss is a heater.
Anyway, get up with me. That would be fun. We should do that. Problematic Faves.
Problematic Faves. Another one in the bank.
Another one in the bank. So, who wants to
I'll go. Yeah, fuck
be
it.
problematic?
Including, so like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go. I picked this song because my mind is broken. Because my mind is fucking broken. It was always broken before March 2020, and it's only been more broken since then. It's a year of just a completely fucking broken brain, and that's why I chose the song Mind by Talking Heads. You know, sure, you can talk about how important it is that the Talking Heads third album was produced by Brian Eno, and it shows this band who's playing at CBGB and all these, they probably played at Max's Kansas City, taking post-punk and going these more artful and, you know, Afrobeat-centric directions produced by Brian Eno. You could talk about all that, but my brain's just fucking broken. And I don't know how I can change my mind. And this song really resonates with me because my mind is fucking shot. And religion can't change you, drugs can't change you, you know, only you can change you. And that's what the song is about.
Yeah, and it's got a great intro to the music video. And I just want to shout out my mom, who's not here today, because she always called the Talking Heads the verbalizing skulls, and I thought that was very funny when I was a kid.
Such a good mom joke.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's great.
Moms, gotta love them.
Gotta love them. All right, Talking Heads. Mind. Absolutely, the Casey Michael. We have seen some great moves tonight. And I was just remarking to the other cuties here in the club that what we've really learned tonight is that post-punk was about crazy moves, it was about funny voices, and it was about looking like an absolute idiot, acting like an absolute moron, but actually being the smartest person in the room.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we all know that when people are actually very smart, they actually act very, very stupid. And that's what the Cutie Club is all about.
Yeah. I'm dumb as shit, bro.
Dum da dum dum. Got one song left. You're gonna get one song and only one song because I'm a lazy bastard.
And I think, like, a lot of people think about Joy Division and, television and all this stuff, but people forget, like, I think because really people think about this band's later career. And I remember when we first were planning this, Zach was like, oh, I'm going to pick Cities and Dust.
It was.
And
so
I was
good.
like, yeah, but that's kind of like their later phase when they moved away from post-punk and they kind of were more dance rock, art rock. But I think really their first like major single was sort of like their truest post-punk form, and that's Hong Kong Gardens.
Hit.
Yeah. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it's Siouxsie Sue and the Banshees, by the way. I don't know if you can.
Absolute legends.
Yeah. And can I tell you how I got introduced to Siouxsie Sue?
Please.
I was so into Garbage when I was in high school, and I remember during an interview, Shirley Manson saying that her sister would scare her by playing a Siouxsie record, and she would go to sleep hearing the song, and it was Siouxsie going like, "I hate you, I hate you, I hate," and that's the song "Drop Dead." You know what I mean? Which is like a B-side, and that Shirley was so freaked out about hearing that record every time her sister would play it.
She had to grow up to become Shirley Manson.
Yeah, and that was like how I found out, like, as a teenager, who Siouxsie was. And I'm like, because, you hear your favorite artist talk about another artist and you're immediately like, I want to learn more about their influences. And that's how I kind of like was introduced to Siouxsie. And I was thinking of picking Drop Dead because I do really love that song. I think it's what it says. But, I got to give them the classics. Got to give them the hits.
This is the hit. This is the hit. And absolutely, I mean, we couldn't have Post-Punk Night without talking about Siouxsie Sue. Siouxsie Sue is a fucking icon. She's definitely one of the strong female leads that I've looked up to the most throughout my life. And I think a lot of the other women in rock that I look up to take a lot from her as well. You already mentioned Shirley Manson, Karen O of the Yeah, totally. All those Electroclash people we talked about last week all fucking love post-punk, quite clearly.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Not only was she like a music icon, she was a fashion
icon.
I think a lot of like these looks that you see other women, even today. I mean, even looking at you, I can see Siouxsie's influence on your looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because like she's just like iconic. You know what I mean? Siouxsie. Which, by the way, if I also another thing I loved a track she did with Basement Jaxx. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It was off of their second album called it was actually the title track from Kish Cash, their second their third album. Also great track I really like. So if you haven't heard that song, I think it really marries like Basement Jaxx like really like over the top nature with like Siouxsie's like really punky delivery,
Absolutely. Yeah. Full on icon, another goth hero. I love her and Robert Smith's like eternal friendship. I think it's great. I think we've all seen that famous poster. Maybe if you haven't, you should look it up.
And again, I think that like men dominated this genre, but then Siouxsie
but she is like the one.
Siouxsie was the queen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
the queen of the genre.
Absolutely. Before we get into it,
too, I will include Delta 5. Mind Your Own Business, because the ladies be post-punking though.
It's true. Ladies be post-punkin'.
Ladies be post-punkin', yeah.
We out here. Before we get into it, though, I just want to let everyone know what's coming up on the channel after this. I have not announced it anywhere publicly, but this week's Cat Calls guest is the one and only Glenn Jammin. He is like the videographer, I don't want to say du jour, because it's really like of the whole era. He's like the man who cataloged the Bloghouse movement from the decks with his shitty Canon, and he continues to be just a great storyteller, capturer, chronologicer. I know a historian of sorts, and he's also getting into NFTs, and he's like fighting the Asian racism, so I can't wait to have him on the show And next week on Cutie Club, we're going to do a special Irish edition because it's going to be St. Patrick's Day on Wednesday, and we're not going to be cheesy about it. We're going to play Irish bands and Irish singer musics.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, far removed, have Irish in me, so that's cool. I have this little cup here that someone got for me in Ireland, so that's how you know it's real. And
so, everybody get your Guinness.
Get your Guinness. Get your
Irish whiskey ready.
Ooh, I'm gonna have and then
no, Zach, that's canceled. You don't say that.
Get your Jerry Adams posters up in the background. Get your Sinn Féin.
Get your Lucky Charms.
Yeah. Get your box of Lucky Charms.
Oh yeah, your 4-leaf clovers. It'll be fun, and we'll all wear green, or else you get punched or some weird fucking thing that I don't understand.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Is that a dig at the Irish for being violent? Because you know how they were always getting in trouble for like fighting, like the fighting Irish.
Kids were kids.
Can I tell you? I don't know where at least the Irish people I've met are always the nicest.
So nice. People. Everyone is so nice. I don't know where they were always like, they get drunk, they fight, they're terrible.
I don't feel like I've ever met an Irish person that actually holds up that stereotype.
Same. I'll share stories. I even have videos when I went to Ireland, and I can share them as clips. It'll be cute. But that's not this Tuesday. That's next week. Here, we're still signing off with post-punk. I want to thank everyone for joining us. The Casey Michael, thank you so much. Lil Marisita, thank you so much. Marquis DePoo, you came in, you dropped the bomb, but we love you. The Powers, did I already say the Powers of P? The Powers of P, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. And T-Lac 305, always a monster, always bringing the lols. We love you here at the Cutie Club. And let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. I think the fans want to see less of shirts on Zach, but we'll actually get kicked off of Twitch if we have too much male nudity. It's one of the rules.
Sorry, guys.
People do be sexualizing me, though. I hear that a lot. With how much I go out.
It's true. Anyway, that's post-punk. This has been Cutie Club, and 1, 2, 3. See you next Tuesday.